Overwatch Season 5 is here, bringing along a ton of new content, but most importantly, a brand new season to the game. A lot of you are probably coming back after taking a break following the grim news, so here are a few quick tips to get you back up to speed with climbing in Overwatch 2. The most important thing for you to understand is just how climbing truly works. The more you improve as a player, the more you will climb in the long term. Climbing is a process that takes quite a long time to get to the top, but just like the gym, with dedication and discipline, you will reach your goals in due time. So it is important that you stay focused and give yourself into the improvement mindset. I played a lot of Rainbow Six Siege in the downtime to avoid burnout, and I found that climbing in that game came down to just focusing in on myself, what I could improve upon, and keeping a level, disciplined head. That being said, the way the community views ranked is a lot different now than when the game first came out. A lot of people have different goals when it comes to ranked. Some are playing for fun, some are playing to win, and some are playing well because they are quite frankly addicted to the pain it gives them. I cannot stress enough that maintaining a solid mental with an improvement mindset is the number one thing you need to focus on if you are going to make big strides in your SR, and this will always be the case. Shifting focus onto the more direct skills, I used to avoid warming up before I play. To be honest, I still avoid warming up, and it's the main reason why I lost games early on in both of the Ana and Zenyatta unranked GMs. What is more important, however, is how you go about warming up as well. The routine you use does not have to be super extensive either. A 15-minute session in Vaxta is more than enough to get you set up to play at your best. Depending on what you play, take 5 minutes for the heroes you want to play throughout your entire session to get used to any projectiles and get used to shooting while maintaining good movement. If Vaxta VAXTA is not your cup of tea, a game or two of quick play can also do the trick, especially if you were a tank player. The end-all be-all is that you need to have the discipline to restrain yourself from just jumping in and playing while cold. Warming up will set you up to play at your best and avoid tilting in those first few games, boosting the amount of improvement you can have every single session. In my time improving at different games I am not the best at, I have been able to put myself in your shoes and see why you all struggle and remain hard stuck when you put tons of effort in. A lot of this comes down to you all consuming a ton of content, memorizing the details presented, and failing to truly digest and understand it. Overwatch is a game where no two fights will ever be exactly the same. There are tips that can help the majority of fights, but at the end of the day, you have to understand to adapt the way you use your kit to the fight to generate the maximum value possible. The best way you can go about this is looking back at your replays and taking fights step by step. For example, the first step is understanding what your character excels at doing. For example, let's take Reinhardt. He is a tank that excels when he is up close and personal and can do a ton of damage with his hammer. However, there are situations where this is actually the way you shouldn't play the character. For example, Reinhardt does not always want to play as fast as possible into a character like Junker Queen, because she actually does better up close than he does. Another part of Reinhardt's kit is his shield. That gives him some time to get to a close and personal situation. So against a Junker Queen in ranked, as Reinhardt, sometimes it is more beneficial to support your DPS with your shield to try and poke out the Junker Queen before she gets close and then walk in to clean up the enemy. The point I am trying to make is that you will receive many tips from educational Overwatch YouTube channels, but you have to take it all with a grain of salt, including my own content. Try and promote the understanding of a situation and ask questions before you go into ranked and apply tips that may or may not hurt your gameplay. Moving on, the next tip I have for you all is to define the characters and role you want to fill before you load into ranked. There are 5 roles in Overwatch: tank, hit scan, flex DPS, flex support, and main support, that all have different characters they are expected to play in a certain meta. While they are a bit dated, I have videos on each of these roles on my channel if you want to brush up on that. Terms aside, however, at the end of the day, the conventional way of playing Overwatch is not for everyone, and you really have to pick a cast of characters that works best for you. For example, when I play and I am really trying to climb, I find it to be the easiest when I pick one character that I know I can perform on and keep picking them at the start of each game in the session, switching off only if I have to. That is why a lot of people, especially at the higher ranks, associate me with my best character, Ana, because that is typically where I produce the most value in a ladder setting. At the end of the day though, Ana is not going to work in every single situation, which is why, as a flex support player, I have other characters to flex to given the situation, like Baptiste, Zenyatta, Moira, and well, Kiriko, but we might have to brush up on that character a little bit. The thing you really want to avoid though, if you are truly looking to improve and climb, is to try and flex queue all of your roles at the same time. This spreads out your playtime and hinders you from making meaningful strides for your gameplay. If you are unsure which role is really meant for you, don't look at how you perform, instead think about how much you enjoy each character you play and go from there. After all, you are much more likely to put in the effort and climb if you enjoy the process as opposed to playing the boring meta hero you hate that just makes Overwatch feel like a chore to play. This is the perfect segue into our last point: make sure that you are putting your health and enjoyment of the game first. Overwatch 2 is in a state where the future is grim and it is not going to get a whole lot better anytime soon. And it is important that you understand that. Because of this, it is also important that you stay true to yourself and take breaks if you need to. Personally, after all of the bad news, a break is what I needed to mentally reset and get back into the game I love when I was ready. This significantly improves your mental performance and helps you from tilting while queuing. In a more physical sense, also make sure you're taking care of yourself in real life too. Overwatch Ranked is a place where you need to feel confident in your abilities to carry the game, and you need every bit of mental fortitude and confidence you can get to deliver the value you need to. The last thing you want to do is walk into the game scared and nervous to perform amongst your team. Everyone is at a different starting point in this journey, but it is extremely important that you do not shove it aside. Make sure that you aren't playing hungry and are getting enough sleep. Then start working on some mindfulness routines like going for a walk, cooking food, or journaling. If you enjoy it, maybe start going to the gym too. A lot of the best Overwatch players have found that being good at a game is mechanical in nature, but there is also a very real mental part of it as well, even more so than in traditional sports. And with that, we are brought to the end of today's video. The key to climbing in ranked of any game is to focus on improvement first. Climbing is a process that takes time, and it is important that you set up a consistent environment for yourself to perform. You can do this by avoiding tilt, warming up before you play, promoting your understanding in your gameplay, defining your hero pool, and prioritizing your mental and physical well-being. If you find yourself stuck even after all of these tips, I host free VOD Fridays live here on the channel as well as on my Twitch at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, links in the description. This is a great way for you to grow as a player, and I encourage you to attend to not only improve, but maybe find a duo within the community as well. Thank you all so much for watching, but until next time, I've got to peace out and pass out. I'll see you in the next one.